Welcome back. Third quarter about to get underway. Polar opposites. Kajan Theory Danny Castle alongside me, Spencer Byers. Aces down 9, 39-30, without two of their starters in, I almost forgot there for a second, Chelsea Gray and Kia Stokes, as well obviously as Candace Parker, who's been out throughout this series.
Mm-hmm.
So that means 8-player rotation for the Aces, which they have kind of utilized in this game. But Cage, as I said, and said rather aggressively at the end of the second quarter, how are the Liberty not up by more? And if I was in that locker room as a Liberty coach, even player, but especially coach, I would be very upset with my team's performance and would illustrate in so many words that I expect a hell of a lot better as the Liberty will get us started off here for the third quarter. They ended the first half on an 8-0 run, which got them to their 9-point lead, which again, if you can do the math, that means they were up by only one before that 8-0, up by 1, 31-30 before that 8-0 ending of the quarter. Missed there by the Liberty. Both teams shooting below 40%, 38 to 37%. 38 for the Liberty. Nice pass inside, up by George. I hit the inner rim. Or under the backboard.
Nice up pick there from Sabrina Ionescu and Cash.
I saw a bring truck on the way home, and apparently the vaults are open. As Young, again, another rattler, finds its way in, Cage. We've seen again a lot of that for the Aces, a lot of couple bounces, and it goes in off the rim. Jonquil Jones trying to get through George, gets doubled by Plum. Nice pass for Vandersloot, who, that's an ugly look for Courtney Vandersloot. I think you know what I mean there, as
Yep.
Plum couldn't get it there to Wilson. But that ugly shot there by Vandersloot because she caught it was nobody near her, Cage. And she didn't look to shoot. She looked to pass and then said, I'm wide open. I might as well lay it up, and then missed it. She took a little too long to take the shot, Cage. Again, that's going to be a little more aggressive by Courtney Vandersloot. Ionescu, 4-3. It's short. Look short from the moment she let go of it. Rebounded by George. Jonquil Jones a little slow to get up there. As Clark for George. George shoots it. No good. Tried to beat
Liberty just content to let George let it fly from behind the arc as a ugly pass there from Stewart to Laney.
And it's stolen by Plum, who definitely was a mismatch there for Laney. And I can tell you where I would have wanted that pass, and here in a second, as AJ Wilson from the free throw line, no good. Neither team, again, starting this third quarter off well. And if you're a Liberty fan, you have to take advantage of all these missed shots by the Aces, especially by the better players here in Wilson and Plum, as that shot hits the rim and is no good. Short there by Jonquil Jones, who you wouldn't be happy with settling from that shot, in my opinion, in this game, as Plum up and no good. Didn't get the foul either, so the other way it will go. Nice pass for Vandersloot, in for Stewart, it's good.
Now that was great tic-tac-toe action there by the Liberty.
Stewart, though, is
And
only 2 for 9, might I add.
she's not had a great game by
And
far.
Kayla George hits the 3 there. Sorry to interrupt you, Cage, but George has taken quite a few shots because she's been open a lot because, as we mentioned, the Liberty are completely okay letting her shoot. She's 3 for 11 for the game. She's 2 for 8 from 3, but in fairness, she is getting open looks, so shoot or shoot, as you'd say.
Great backdoor cut there by Sabrina Ionescu. Nothing really happening on that possession, but Ionescu cut to the basket.
And that's lazy by Jackie Young. And what's funny, Cage, is because, again, you're a little ahead of me, I saw Benijah Laney send her and told her what to do, basically. Say switch spots, and when they switched spots, Jackie Young got her eyes caught on the ball handler a little too much. Is that nice steal by Clark? And Clark wanted the foul, though, on Ionescu. Doesn't get it. Now got to get back on defense. What a pass for Laney, but couldn't corral it. George almost lost it. The Aces thought that one had a bounce. It did not. At least the referee didn't call it like that. As Young trying to body through Vandersloot. Vandersloot kind of grabbing her chest as George rattles it in. Kayla
Another
George.
3.
Double digits for the bench body. Vandersloot again never looked at the rim on that drive. Out for Ionescu, and it got tipped by a white shirt. I'm not sure which one touched that one there, Kajan, but regardless. And again, you got to love the confidence by Kayla George, who again has not played a whole lot, hasn't played more than 10 minutes in any game since September 10th, so over a month. She's already got 11 points tonight. She's played 16 total minutes in the playoffs. She's already got 22 in this game. She's already eclipsed her playoff total before this game.
And that is a terrible shot there for Breanna Stewart. I know I'm a little bit ahead of you, but you're about to see why.
And that was a horrible shot. Great defense, though, by Alicia Clark. In fairness. Like, I was a big fan of that defense there by Alicia Clark.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you that not a great optimal shot there for the stone cold Breanna Stewart. A'ja Wilson off for
George open again for 3. Fortunate that she missed that one. That was sort of like a heat check, but I don't blame her. She was wide open.
Honestly, with sad Casey, she could have taken a little extra time because neither it looked like Jonquel Jones or Breanna Stewart were out at the perimeter there against Wilson at the free throw line had any intentions of going to her. She could have taken a dribble and taken the shot if she wanted, as around there for kind of a zoom was Vandersloot, couldn't get the jumper to go. She has also not had a good start to this third quarter, almost 5 minutes into it. Wilson trying to get through Jones, blocked by Jonquel Jones, and possession stays with the Aces.
And if you're the Aces, you feel encouraged. You're only down by 8 this late in.
Cage, if you're Becky Hammond, you are ecstatic. Because you're away from home. You had a horrible game 3. You now have 2 injured starters, 8 players total out of the 10 you're allowed. 3 technically injured, but still 2 in this series. Vandersloot's going to check out quick there for the Liberty. Nice pass to Wilson. Wilson, step back jumper. It's good for A'ja Wilson. Hand of Jonquel Jones in her face didn't matter. And a timeout is taken by Sandy Brondello as A'ja Wilson gets the double-double with that make. 10 rebounds, 11 assists. She's also shooting below 50%, but she's still shooting better than Breanna Stewart.
And she's still better, and it's still a better percentage than where she had in game 3 when she went 4 of 16.
Which was, again, a horrible game 3 for the Aces as a whole, but especially for former MVP A'ja Wilson, who right now is technically leading the way, but guess who she's tied with? It's Kayla George. Both got 11.
Who would have thought?
And I said, and I believe you agreed with me, Cage, but I will plead the fifth if you didn't, that if Young, Plum, and Wilson do not play well, they will not win this game. And I'm not saying they're playing bad, but none of those 3 are shooting above 50% from the field at the very least.
Yeah.
Plum's got 5 points. Young's got 7 points. Wilson's got 11 points. And that's definitely a far cry from Plum's 29 in game 3 and 3 straight games of 20 plus in this series. And she's obviously well off the pace with only 5 in the third quarter here of getting back to her 20 for a third straight game. And I said all 3 needed 20 to win this game. And what's sad, Cage, is they're down by 6 in the third quarter. And I may be lying with saying they all needed 20 because I expected more from the Liberty here at home in game 4.
And it might be enough for them to hang on and win game 4, but you got to be discouraged heading to back to Vegas for game 5.
Very. Because think about it, Cage. They've been outplayed arguably in 3 games, for sure 2 games in this series, and have not played well at all in Las Vegas. To the point where they had a bad game 1. You and I didn't think it could get worse than that. Oh, did it, Cage? They had a horrible game 2.
Mm.
So, and again, during the commercial break, and I'm just puzzled, Cage, puzzled by this Liberty team because they are so talented. And I complained during the second quarter about how I thought that this game should be well out of reach by now, and I still think it should be. But
Hmm.
I just don't know how this happens. I guess is where I'm kind of baffled. I'm confused because how does it happen that you're as you see they're replaying the Chelsea Gray injury from game 3. But I'm just not sure how we can talk about effort in the finals, especially when you're down 2-1 at home.
And there's an advantage to be had down if you're the Liberty looking at the other team down 2 starters, down the point guard, and having and with 4 players who have played less than 12 minutes per game in the regular season. And this next possession is going to make you boil your blood even more.
Oh, Inescu missed a wide open layup. Oh my God. Clark thought about shooting that ball. She gives it up there to AJ Wilson, who's got the mismatch of Johannes through some contact, and it's good. How'd she make that? A
Oh
7-0
my
run for the
God.
Aces. Johannes takes the shot. No good by a mile. And Cage, the Liberty's offense has been sputtering in this third quarter. Sputtered in the second quarter, but now it's fully stalled. Plum, no good. Lucky there for the Liberty. Stewart now has got double-digit rebounds. She's got 11, actually, so she's been at double digits, best number 11. Stewart now thought about shooting it, trying to drive on George. Step back, that short again. Rebounded, though, by Benijah Laney. Laney seam pass right across for, that looked to be Johannes. Now Inescu's got 5 seconds on the shot clock. Spinning, turning it over almost, gets the shot away anyway, and no good still. But they get the offensive again. Johannes steps into a 3, no good, and up again, Kajan. Calamity of errors on both sides, but specifically for the Liberty. 3 for 14 from the floor of the Liberty in the third quarter.
And it's one thing, and whoa.
I'm going to see what you just said whoa to, as I believe that's Georgetown with possession. Oh no, Plum just went down. Plum gets up. She doesn't look any worse for wear, but every knock, every player going down in white right now makes you just kind of cringe with all the injuries they've had in this series already.
And it was literally off of a screen, and Johannes kind of like forearm shivered her to the ground.
Vandersloot in for Inescu. I think Colson came out, or pardon me, Colson came in. Sydney Colson came in for Clark. So they've got a little small here. Wilson up through Jones, rebounded by Kelsey Plum. Throws it up, caught there by Wilson. Wilson didn't see the backdoor cut there by Plum. Wilson driving through Jonquel Jones, up too much, but she gets the foul on Jonquel Jones, and
It was a travel.
was a travel. I thought
Yep.
she was going to the line, but she kept going. So that's the 12th turnover for the Aces. But in fairness, the Liberty have 9, so it's not like they've run away with turnovers either, have the Liberty. Jonquel Jones. Inside for Johannes, and gets the foul on Colson.
And that's her 4th.
That's a fortunate foul there for Marine Johannes. Johannes, pardon me. Do want to mention, Sydney Colson got 4 fouls. She only played 7 minutes. I'm not saying that's a record or anything, but damn, that's quick.
And what's even compounding the Liberty's problems is they're not able to make their free throws. And I gotta say, Spencer, the Liberty right now have 47 points as Johannes knocked down that second. They had 23 points in the first quarter, 24 points since then.
And almost double the time, obviously, as 10-minute quarters. We're almost done the third quarter. Plum, Young, trying to get it back to Plum. That's definitely an up and down. Wasn't called. Plum, actually, it wasn't called. What was the whistle for?
Jump ball.
Kajan.
Yes.
Wasn't that an up and down?
Looked like an up and down.
I'm so confused. Young versus Stewart now for the jump ball. My brain has been re-scrambled
No,
from all
because
the things I've
Stewart
seen.
had a hand on the ball.
Oh, so that's what gets her the chance to jump ball? That seems kind of cheap, but regardless. So again, Young versus Stewart. Stewart wins the jump ball. Obviously, wait, whistle goes. It's gonna be a foul against
Not a
Young.
foul, it's a false start.
Now I feel like I'm watching football, Cajun. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Redo first down. Now they're back in that horn set they love a lot. Vandersloot didn't even look at the rim again. Gives it off to Stewart being guarded by Clark. Stewart up and good. Just friendly roll there for the MVP. Plum. Young for Wilson. Wilson driving. Pull up. Good for Aja Wilson. She's been loving that pull up J. There in the intermediate area. Wide open layup, though, for Vandersloot, who gets it to go off of the awkward screen coverage there by the Aces. Jackie Young. For
And Asia Young is basically taken over.
I think it's an AJ Young, but you mean AJ Wilson, who again
Asia
gets
Wilson,
that
my
one to
bad.
go, and she fights through Jonquil Jones after. And the intensity for this Aces team is still there. That jumper, no good. 13 rebounds also for AJ Wilson. So even though she hasn't necessarily been shooting well, she's had a good third quarter, especially to fix that percentage. She has been dominant in this game. She has been all over the television screen here. That is a foul. And it's going against the Liberty. Didn't even notice what the call was for, I think. What did they call? Cajun, did you see what they called? I know you're ahead of me. They called a foul against the Liberty?
On Jones.
On Jonquil Jones. Perfect.
Yeah.
That honestly could have been a jump ball as we get a second look at it there, Cage. But shoulda, woulda, coulda. They didn't. So now to the line goes Aja Wilson. And she makes number one with 1:20 left in the third quarter. Thornton comes in there for the Liberty. I didn't see who she took off. As Chelsea Gray again on her feet for this free throw. Aja Wilson's already got her first half totals in this third quarter. She had 9 in the first half. She already got 9 in the third quarter. We'll see if she can get double digits in the quarter. And I think that's 10 points in a row, might I add, for the great Aja Wilson. And it is no good. She stays at 9. Rattled in and out.
And I do not like that shot right there. Like, why? Why when you're 3 for 12 now make it 3 for 13?
And that's a miss there by Brianna Stewart. Plum the other way off for Alicia Clark. Clark driving on Thornton. Too easy again. And the Aces are inching closer. It's only a 2-point lead for the New York Liberty. Vandersloot wide open. Doesn't take it. Open again. Plum poked it away. It's going to be possession back to the Liberty. Cage. Vandersloot's got to shoot that. We've been complaining about the threes, but of all the threes they've taken, that's got to be one of them, isn't it? Or am I
Yeah.
on the banana boat?
No, you're not.
Not in this scenario, I guess I should say. But still, like, that's got to be a shot by Vandersloot. Because she had a pretty good game. Vandersloot, no good. She's really struggled since the first quarter, I want to say, but first half especially.
Mm-hmm.
Nice make, and that's a tie game. Alicia Clark ties it 51-all with 30 seconds left in the third quarter. It's another 7-0 run for the Aces in this quarter. Ionescu passed off, taken away by Jackie Young, quickly up the floor. Numbers for the Aces. What a pass! Clark, no good. Whistle goes, and I think a foul was called on Stewart. So the Aces have a chance to take their first lead of the game, if not first of the game, first since the first quarter.
Since it was 9-8.
Can you believe it?
Honestly,
Kajan, I am in awe.
Honestly, I can. One team is playing with a ton of effort and with nothing to lose. The other team is playing with such complacency. I'm just shocked this didn't happen earlier.
Clark to the line to take the lead. At the end of the third quarter, she makes number one. I am shell-shocked. I'm about to pull out the thesaurus, Kajan, before I splutter a little bit more. Clark makes it a 2-point lead, which is their first lead since 9-8 in the first quarter. Last possession for the Liberty to end the quarter. Ionescu.
And Colson, I believe, just fouled out.
And Colson did just foul out, but I don't think they're in bonus unless that's the bonus foul, so it'll only be a block. But Colson's now might be bleeding, so I'm not sure who actually initiated contact in the end, Cage. So Colson, who only played, 10 minutes or so?
Allegedly.
Only played about 10 minutes, is now done for the game. So now she'll sit for the rest of this game, as coming in for her was Kayla George. So we'll see if Kirsten Bell comes in at any point in the fourth quarter here, as that shot fired from a mile away, hits the rim, no good. And you're telling me there's a chance, Cage. 23-12 third quarter in favor of the Las Vegas Aces, which is a bigger, wider margin than the first quarter was in favor of the New York Liberty, which was 23-13. I am baffled, confused.
Looks like your prediction might be right after all.
I may be right, and Kajan, if I am right, by sticking by my guns and not changing my prediction, even though I didn't know Kia Stokes wasn't going to play, I am going to feel very happy about myself, very confident about my predictions, if that comes out to be true, Kajan. Because, I earned it.
Mm-hmm.
Cage, I earned it. I said that in game one. Because of their performance. So I've been on this train that this game is going to end in 3 or 4. And we're not here yet, but a little bit closer with the way the Liberty have played in this game, which again has been lackluster, which for the majority of this series, they have been lackluster.
Yep.